All right. Okay. We have quite a few people on. I think we should get started. What do you guys say? Okay.
Sure.
Wilson, I can hear some background noise on your end, but it'll happen when you're talking too. So maybe is it an open window or?
No, it's the AC system. It just kicked down.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect. So
I don't have
perfect.
to know that. It's a central system.
No worries, no worries. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to our first online event for CAREA. I am Michelle, a commercial real estate broker with GD Commercial by day and part of this year's board for CAREA by night. I am so honored to be co-hosting today's event with our 2020 to 2022 CAREA President Wilson Chai. Wilson is Vice President and Senior Lending Officer at Bank of America Home Loans. He has been with the bank since 2004, and Wilson joined CAREA in 2010 and has been in the board for the last 10 years. Wilson?
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I'm honored to be CAREA's president for the next 2 years. And right now, the most important agenda for us is to ensure the safety of our associates during the pandemic. So we decided that we're going to suspend our traditional seminars and mixers and luncheons, and we're going to be conducting our meetings virtually until COVID transmission is under control. So as a result, it is imperative that we stay connected with you. If you're not a member of CAREA, I encourage you to join today so that you can be on our mailing list for our future meetings. Mark Zane from Keller Williams is our new membership chair and help you with all the application related issues. Now, if you already joined CAREA, please make sure that we have your current contact information, such as your email and your phone number. You should definitely visit our website frequently at carea.org. Okay, it's not carea.com because that will take you to a hotel in Germany. Now, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and also join our WeChat group. So this way, we have multiple ways to connect with you and to keep you in the loop on the latest industry trends. We're also going to launch our YouTube channels very soon, hopefully in the next few days. So definitely subscribe to that, and you'll be notified when we put up new videos. By the way, all our future events will be hosted on WebEx. Now, before every event, we'll always email you the link so you can get on. But I think it's important that you download the WebEx application from Cisco and put that on your computers and your cell phones so that you can always have a seamless experience when you sign on to our events. Today's events, like Michelle said, that it's going to be recorded, and this is going to be our very first video on YouTube. So after the presentation, we'll send you the link for the YouTube, and also send you the slides used by our speakers today. Now, let's get started on our first topic, Insights on Commercial Real Estate by Yuan Chan. As you remember, Yuan was our president for the last 2 years, and he's currently with Intero Commercial. Yuan has always been one of the highest producing commercial brokers in the country, and so we're very glad that he can tell us about the current status of commercial real estate markets. Let's welcome Yuan.
Am I? Thank you, Wilson. It's an honor to be a part of this panel, and a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Yuan Chang with Intero Commercial. I'm the Assistant General Manager for the Commercial Division. And I've been in real estate doing commercial real estate since about 2001. So I started back when the big .com bust was happening, and now we have this big pandemic. So I've seen a lot of the real estate cycles, go up and down, and this is a very unique one because it's definitely affecting everybody. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting kind of discussion on what's happening with the commercial world. I wanted to touch base on four sectors for the commercial industry. One is office, one is retail, industrial, and hospitality. Right now, this pandemic has caused such a big reaction to the office market. And what's happening is that a lot of these large companies, a lot of people are working from home, shelter in place, and we're definitely seeing a lot of vacancies start to come out. A lot of subleases are coming up because a lot of these companies are realizing that the work from home is actually very doable. And so there's a lot of strategies and ways that I think this is going to definitely make an impact on the office sector. There's kind of two different people believing that office is still going to be strong. The reason why they believe that is because I think what's going to happen is that inside the actual office spaces now, they're going to create more space for each employee. So people have larger workspace. And so that might create more demand for office. But from my own experience and from the listings that I have, I'm definitely seeing a lot of people not renewing their leases and going towards that trend of just working from home. The future of office, I think what's going to happen is that I think people are going to be working from home, but then I think what's going to happen is that I think people are going to feel the need to still connect. So having meetings in office spaces or, having, working with your employees side by side, it's still a huge benefit and makes people, I think, more creative when they're working, together. And so, yeah, the office market as of now is taking a huge hit. Again, I have one property right here in West San Jose. We have about 20 tenants. Within the last 2 months, we were completely full. We have probably about 6-7 vacancies now, just from the last 2-3 months. So it gives you a really good idea of what's happening. And this is the same as with retail. The retail industry is taking a big hit. We've seen a lot of tenants ask for rent deferment. We've seen we haven't seen rents go down too much. We're just seeing a lot of. I think what's happening is that a lot of the landlords everyone's just holding on to see what's going to happen. I represent Kimco, who owns the Cupertino Village across from the Apple campus, and we've actually retained all of our tenants still, but the rents, some of the tenants have requested some rent deferment, and so because they just can't do business. So the retail sector is going to be really interesting because the normal retailers were already having a lot of challenges with Amazon and the online retailers, and now the restaurants are getting hit pretty hard too. And restaurants were always a very difficult. It was very difficult to find spaces for restaurants. But now there's a lot of restaurants that are going to be coming out on the market, and those are opportunities where I think if people were having trouble before finding space, I think if they're patient enough, there'll be more and more spaces coming out. And I think what's going to happen is that you're going to start seeing a lot of these big shopping centers repurpose their sites. So you're going to start seeing shopping centers go try to get re-entitlements to redevelop into more mixed-use type buildings. And so you'll see, like, you know, probably retail on the bottom with a mix of office. So yeah, it's going to be interesting times for the retail market. On a positive note, though, what's kind of been doing pretty well is the industrial and the warehouse market. I think Amazon just signed a huge deal up in Oakland, but the warehouse and industrial, from what I've seen, rents have been pretty stable. I haven't seen it drop at all. Inventory is very, very low. We have seen, you know, it's just we have a lot of people that are still looking for industrial space, but there's just not a lot of inventory. And you know, that's because of we turned a lot of these industrial parks into residential, and so we just diminished a lot of the inventory from that. And right now, manufacturing and industrial is still very, very strong. So I see that's a positive note. I think the industrial side is gonna keep doing well. The last one I want to touch on is hospitality. My background is in hospitality. My father was a hotel developer, and so we have very we've seen, you know, the worst of it back in 2001, which we thought was the worst after 9/11 and the dot-com bust. You know, we were probably down, you know, 30% occupancy, 45% occupancy. With this pandemic, it has completely shook the hospitality world. Last year, I think most of the hotels in the Bay Area were probably doing between 75 to 80% occupancy. And right now, hotels are probably in the 10 to 15% occupancy rate. It's a huge hit to the hotel market. And we just never seen anything like that. I've never seen so many hotels actually close down. When the 2001 recession, none of the hotels closed. They just had slower, you know, not a lot of business. But with this pandemic, I have not seen this many hotels actually close down. And so I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of distressed hotel type properties that are going to be coming out probably early next year. I know a lot of the hotel owners right now are doing capital calls. We're dealing with one right now. You know, they built a beautiful hotel, you know, just opened, you know, about a year ago, and now they're in this huge distressed position, and you know, they're trying to find capital partners. If they can't hold on to it, then you know, this is going to be, you're just going to see more and more of these properties come available, I think. They believe the recovery for hotels is probably between 3 to 5 years. With the SIP lifted during, you know, about a month ago, we did see a little bit uptick in occupancy, maybe up to like 25%, which is still very, very low. But you know, I think you know, 3 years for the Bay Area, I think is pretty conservative. I think that's probably when you're going to see occupancy come back up and rates start building back up. I think the occupancy will come back up in 3 years, but the rates won't recover till about 5 years later. So yeah, this, unlike residential, I think this pandemic has really shook the commercial world. I think residential is still doing decent, and I think we're going to hear more from Mattie. But that's kind of all that I have for right now. I know if you guys have any questions later, we're going to have a Q&A later. But yeah, if you guys have any questions later, just ask me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuan. Yeah, just like how Yuan had shared, we're going to do a Q&A at the end, and I know there are already a few questions. So now that, you know, thank you so much again, Yuan, for sharing such a comprehensive update across the different asset classes. So we really appreciate that. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at what's happening in the residential real estate market with Mattie Wei. Mattie is with Remax Accord in Fremont and is a highly experienced residential agent selling over 400 homes in the past 17 years. Mattie, I'm going to pass the remote control over to you, and this way you can go ahead and click through your slides. Okay, here we are. Go ahead. Oh, hold on. I need to unmute you. Sorry about that. Let's unmute Mattie. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Michelle, for the kind introduction. Thanks, Yuan, for sharing your insights about commercial real estate market update. I'm Mattie Wei with the Remax Accord. Next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you what's been going on with the residential real estate market during this COVID-19. So there are going to be 5 topics I'm going to cover. The current housing update. Number 2, is this a good time to buy real estate and why? Number 3 is going to be, is this a good time to sell real estate and why? Number 4, how to market listings during COVID-19 as a real estate professionals. Number 5, how to educate buyers due to this COVID-19 time. So that's first to get started with the current house update versus 2019. Let's look at this chart. I picked this sales data for single family existing homes as a comparison. At the end of May 2020, the inventories were down nearly 50%. However, median price in Bay Area was only down for 2.5%. But of course, it's just a median price. This shows the middle of all the numbers we gathered. However, for the county of Alameda, it was only down for 0.4%. So that means it's pretty much the same as last year. Contra Costa down for 1.5. Santa Clara, where is the heart of Silicon Valley, is, however, up for 2.2%. So you can see all other counties here, and some of the counties are doing extremely well. So what does that suggest? We are not really experiencing a down market, just not at this moment, right? I'm going to, for the next. Okay. Slide. It's not. Hold on, trying to long. It's little. Okay. It's a little sensitive here. Is this a good time to buy real estate and why? There are 2 types of buyers out there: primary homeowners and investors. As a homeowner, for those buyers who need a home for whatever reasons, in the past 3 months, since the shelter in place, I sold about 15 homes. Half of them are buyers. Of course, each buyer has their unique situations, such as getting married, having a newborn, relocating to Bay Area, or empty nesters, downsizing is needed, etc. For those people, yes, it's definitely a good time to buy. Here are the reasons. Mortgage rates are insanely low. Explains better if we use charts. Let me get the chart. Okay. This chart shows the current interest rate is at the lowest. Yeah, this interest rate shows the current interest rate is at the lowest since 1972, when the Fed had a record. By looking at the chart, it clearly shows the interest rates are at the bottom and is likely to stay this low for a long time. It will go up, just a matter of time. And also, I wanted to talk about the important role the interest rate plays for finance the buyer. Even if home prices drop, mortgage payments can still go higher. Okay. Where's the next slide?
Mattie, would it help if I just click through the slides for you?
Yes, that would be better. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so let's play some scenarios. I helped 4 of my buyers this month to get interest rate of 2.625 for this current 7 years ARM program in purchasing $1 million price range homes. Assuming the purchase price is $1 million, let's put 20% down, which is typical. Monthly mortgage payment is about 3213-ish. But what if the home price drops, say 5%? Purchase price will be $950,000, still 20% down, but the interest rate goes up to 3%. You know what? The monthly mortgage payment is almost the same, 3204-ish. Then how about the interest rate becomes 3.5 or 4%, which is still good rate, but buyers end up paying more, almost like $400 each month for the mortgage payment, right? So in summary, what I'm showing you is if the interest rate goes up for a financed buyer, there's not much advantage, but potentially paying more. Again, if they are considering to buy a home as a primary home, go and make an offer today. So do not forget about the tax benefits. As we all know, primary home owners can have tax deductions in mortgage interest and the property taxes that will save them a good amount of money after the tax. Let's move on to the next, not yet. The tax benefit, I think we should go back, right? Right here, yes. And moreover, as we know, primary home owners, also the ownership here is transferable. Unlike some other countries, the homeowners only have the right to use the properties. The ultimate ownership doesn't belong to the purchasers. Here in California, we all know home ownership is permanent and it can be transferred to his/her heirs. Remember also, real estate is a long-term investment. Being a realtor practiced over 17 years, I do see market goes up and down a few times. No matter how terrible the market might look like during the downturn, say even during 2008, the REO time, as long as the home is held over 5 years or more, people do make profit. Just remember that this is the Bay Area. All the major high-tech employers are here. We are fortunate enough. We work here as a real estate professional. We just have all the, we are the future of the new technologies. Also, the pride of the ownership, right? Besides of all the benefits we talked about above, most importantly, home provides you a sense of security, safety, and peace of mind, which money cannot buy. So overall, I strongly believe if you're working with a primary home buyer, you should encourage your buyer not to hesitate and become a proud homeowner. This COVID-19 is temporary and will be gone sooner or later, but it shouldn't become a barrier not to own a home. So, okay, we covered pretty much most of the factors for the buyers who buy homes for their primary residence. How about the investors? Is right now a good time to buy real estate for them? For investors, I'm going to suggest them stash your cash, wait for your opportunities to come. Here are the reasons. The Federal Reserves have been printing trillions of dollars. As we know, inflation will occur, just a matter of time. But again, this is my personal opinion. I don't represent CAREA, but as a realtor who's been working in Bay Area for this many years, that's just my personal opinion. So far as we know, $2 trillion stimulus package approved by the Congress, $3.5 trillion to buy government debts in 2020, another $2 trillion will be loaned to business in 2020. What does that suggest? Inflation is on its way. And also, unemployment rate is at a historical high. Lots of homeowners are behind on their mortgage payments. Foreclosures will happen, and it's a matter of time as well. In summary, what I would say, if you are working with a primary homeowners, encourage them to buy the home as soon as possible. It's really a good market. Take advantage of this low interest rate and the tax benefits and so on. If you're an investor, maybe it's a good time just wait and monitor the market closely, wait for your opportunities. So good time to sell real estate. The answer is a solid yes. Reasons are the following. The market is still active. We have plenty of buyers out there. We still see multiple offers. One of the offers that submitted for a home in Sacramento on Tuesday just got accepted last night. For that home, it was priced for $1.15 million. 4 buyers competing against each other. My buyer got it for $1.17 million, $20,000 higher than the asking price, but with no contingency. What about the other 3 buyers whose offer didn't get accepted? They are still on the market looking for homes to buy, right? Stock market near all-time high. People who benefit from the stock market could switch their money to a much safer investment, which I believe is buying real estate. Home prices still rising slowly, and we are just experiencing inventory shortage. We just don't have enough inventory for all the home buyers out there. So another good reason is to catch the good market before foreclosure starts to happen, as we discussed earlier. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know the current market is still promising. In summary, if a seller comes to consult you if this is a good time to sell, we all know the answer, why not? So I'm going to cover a little about how to market listings during this COVID-19 time. First of all, I would say online presence, and again, online presence. We live in an internet world. Successfully marketing a listing as a listing agent, we should use all the online tools nowadays. We can utilize platforms such as Zoom, WebEx, and today's meeting is hosted by WebEx. Utilize all the social media such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, to attract more home buyers. Having all the virtual tour, video, 3D tours for all of our listings, buyer can preview them at home. Of course, during this virus time, minimize face-to-face meetings is important. Another thing I wanted to share with everyone is having sanitizing supplies is extremely important. So here is what I normally have for each of my listings. Each Ziploc bag contains a pair of disposable gloves, disposable shoe covers, and a face mask, besides of sanitizing wipes and a hand wash. It costs me a little money, extra money, and a good effort to collect all of them, but it's very worth it. I want everyone to have a peace of mind when they come to my listings, and everyone to be safe. Of course, price listings right is extremely important at this point. Encourage sellers to vacate the property and use staged furnitures. So those are the pointers I wanted to share with everyone about how to market listing during this COVID. And also, I have some videos which I made during this COVID time to market my listings.
Maybe give us an idea of the dates that when these sold, when these multiple offers came in.
Right. So the first one on Ferry Lane, this home just I put it on the market right after the COVID-19 started, the shelter in place started. And this particular seller, he had to sell because their whole family was relocating to Europe. So, everything was online, believe or not. So the owner still lived in the inside of the property, the family of 4. We had a Zoom meeting to get started. We talked to each other, and he showed me, touring me the home just by video, by cell phone. And then we didn't have this home staged. It was all their own furniture because at that time, the staging was not possible, right? So I just worked with my assistant to have all online marketing as much as possible, and just having all the virtual tour video and a 3D possible to show home buyers prior they check out the homes. Yeah. So how to educate buyers during this COVID-19. So actually, less competitors out there. As we know, some of the buyers they don't want to come out because of this virus spread. So we have less competitors. Sellers are more serious, are more willing to negotiate. If the sellers are selling today, they are serious sellers, and they are more than likely to negotiate with the buyers. And some of the highlights here, I would of course, a lot of them are just common sense. We all practice. Look at the listings virtually first. Let the buyers check out the neighborhood in person. So that way we can be well protected, right? We don't have to go out show homes as often as we have to. Again, price remain very firm due to low inventories. Um, good deals are out there. We need to do more research, more frequent, and be patient. Borrowing also become harder, so we do need to encourage our buyers to check with their lenders and make sure they still qualify. Again, as we all know, PAB form must be signed prior to each property tour. So those are the things we just need to watch out before we check out homes, right? So in general, I would say the market is shifting. Yes, we are facing a lot of challenges, but also please remember shifting is not necessarily a bad thing. This could be a lot of opportunities hidden for all of us. All we need to do as real estate professionals is just always keep learning. We need to be at least one page ahead of our customers and stay positive. And we all know coronavirus is temporary and will be gone one day, but selling home is our livelihood. This is our business. Our customer needs us, needs our service, and needs our help. Needless to say, our family needs us to bring the food to the table. Lots of things out there out of our control, such as what happens to us today. Today is coronavirus. Tomorrow could be pig virus or bird virus. But we can control how we responded, even though we can control the environment. We shouldn't stop learning, growing, and sharpening our skills no matter what. Life goes on and our business goes on. So my dear realtor friends, go out and work hard. Make sure to stay safe and stay happy. Thank you everyone for listening. So I'll give the time to Michelle.
Well, actually, I'll take it from here. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Mattie. Our next speaker is Eunice Chan. Some of you remember Eunice was our president for a few years back, and she has been a senior sales manager with the luxury home Toll Brothers for many years, probably decades. Eunice has sold single-family homes, townhomes, condos in San Ramon, Danville, Sunnyvale, San Jose, and Fremont, and with pricing ranging from $800,000 to 3.5 million. Eunice has been very busy selling the 600 condos at Metro Crossing. It's in Fremont, right by the BART station. Extremely experienced in the new home business, and we're glad that she can join us today to tell us what she's seeing in her market. So let me turn the mic over to Eunice right now. Eunice, I believe you're still on mute.
Eunice, make sure you unmute yourself before you speak. And then Mattie and Wilson, if you don't mind muting as well.
I did.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Hi, everyone. So just want to say hi and let you know that we have a lot of good information from Yuan about the commercial retail and also from Mattie about all the resale in residential. These are a lot of good information that everybody should know if you're in the business of real estate. But another factor that, in the real estate world is new homes. New home actually is a major contribution to the inventory of all the real estate that eventually becomes, available for sale and for eventually people to look at the alternative for resale. So this is what I'm kind of observing from, what the trends are and what we are seeing with the COVID-19, happening right now. So I have prepared a couple of charts. So the first one, okay, not happening. All right. The first chart here basically is a chart that shows you from year to year, and it's biannually what's happening to the supply side. So new home basically shows you how many homes are being built on, a yearly basis, so we can see what the patterns are. The blue bars represent single-family home starts up, and the orange bar represent multifamily, meaning condos and townhomes. So from April of 15, when they started this analysis, you can see that, single-family home was actually lower comparatively to the multifamily starts. However, as, the year goes by, there is a shift in increasing number of single-family homes in comparison to the multifamily construction. Especially if you look at the October 17 to the October 18, there's a big spike in the number of single-family home starts compared to the multifamily. And there's a couple of reasons why. And this chart is only representing California, so we're just focusing on talking about California. So the reason that we are seeing more single-family starts in the last couple of years is that there is a higher demand for jobs, in the Silicon Valley and a lot of other California cities. And so people had good income, and most of them had very high and strong income to support a purchase. So with that, there is, when people have the money and the financial ability, single-family homes are usually their first choice. We also see that there is a boom in the millennium because these, third generations or the millenniums are starting their families now. They're in their early 30s, and most of them are getting married and having their first kids, and they're looking for schools, looking for a bigger home so they can start their new family. So that's why you can see that there's a spike in the startup of single-family homes. However, if you see the orange bar of the multifamily, it has been pretty consistently, going from one year to another, just because, there is, definitely a higher demand for the a little bit lower, price point where the townhomes and condos will offer. And then here, the next chart, I'm not getting to the next chart. Michelle, do you have control, or because I'm not getting a control?
I think that's you controlling it right now. Here, try again. Perfect.
Okay, all right. Oops, and I put this fast. All right, so this chart here is also a historical, revelation of how you see the trend. So when you look at the blue chart, which again represents a single family home, the ups and downs from year to year has been dramatically, due to the economic up and downturn. So the most recent one obviously is the 2008, where you see a big dip from the previous years of over 150,000 number of new construction all the way down to under 30,000 units in the 2008 and 2009 downturn. And you can see that now the trend is picking up. It's slowly climbing, but as you can see, this is a cautious climb instead of the spike in the previous year prior to the 2008 crisis. So I think when you look at this chart, you can see that we're in a very healthy growth. It's not like those crazy, kind of speculations where investors jump in, try to snatch up everything. There is a very cautious, calculated planning of a lot of the buyers that are coming into the market. So we're not in any crisis right now. I don't anticipate much of the same repeat of a bubble bursting in the real estate market, just because if you see this chart, we're, in a very, safe and even trend of uptick And the uptick is always good because real estate is always going to be your good investment compared to stock market, which is even more volatile. And so this is what I'm seeing in terms of the trend. And then how do we see the new home development? So usually the new home development is affected by several items. So state-initiated legislative effort, it's encouraging low and mid-tier housing stocks. And that's focusing on multifamily constructions in the recent years. And the reason why is because single-family homes are getting very, very expensive, up to a point where a lot of people are not able to afford single-family homes. And also states, especially in California, are encouraging, transit corridor developments of residential, because as you can imagine, all the freeways are already, jam-packed. Even now, after the COVID-19 had start releasing some of their restrictions, the freeways are packed again, like Freeway 680, Freeway 880, 101. Those major, arteries are all being, jammed up. So for people to try to, look for homes, the transit corridors are one of the, encouragement by the state to build. So such as my project in Fremont, we're right across from the BART station, right across from the Warm Spring BART station. And in Milpitas, which the BART station just opened up in the Great Mall area, there's tons of new developments of condos and townhomes in that area. So the whole idea of the state to develop, multifamily in those areas is to encourage people to take public transportation. And therefore, that's where the focus is on from the state initiation. However, having said that, the shift now with the COVID-19 has kind of pulled that back somewhat. Well, as you can all see, social distancing, and then also banks are getting a little concerned about what's happening in the economy. They're also tightening up their line of credits for builders to get construction loans. They're all pulling back. So we're seeing a little bit of a holding pattern for builders to construct in 2020. And, but also from the buyer's perspective, there is also a shift in the demand from the high density of condos and townhomes to suburban single families, because now with the social distancing, they want more space. They don't want to be in a crowded building with multiple other neighbors. So they are moving away from the Bay Area just to be able to get some space, and also because they're now able to work from home, therefore there's a shift now. So therefore, with that also said, that we're going to see a pullback from the construction in 2020, which is going to trigger into 2021 for the supply of condos and townhomes, and maybe an uptake of the single-family homes construction. So the reason why builders always have to look at many different purposes and reasons, and what's happening in the economy for them to make a decision to purchase land and also to build. So first they have to analyze what's existing in the home market right now. What's selling, what's not selling, how fast are the pace. There's a term in new homes, the pace of sales. So we have projections every year, and if we meet projection, that means we're doing the right, amount of sales. However, if the pace of is not catching up to our projection, then we're going to slow down on picking up more new land deals, because they're concerned if this is not, selling fast enough, then we're going to build up the inventory, and that means, money being tied up. And then also the end user demand. We also have to look at where end users are going, meaning the buyers. So such as what we were starting with, like the demand for single higher, but then states are encouraging the multifamily home in transit corridor. All these are factors what it's going to impact where the builder is going to look for opportunities to purchase land and to build, and the type of building that they're going to do. And then another thing is the employment. So obviously, wherever employment is, housing is going to follow, because the builders want to make sure that there is a sufficient demand of housing close to employment. So when Google announced that they're going to come to San Jose, you can see a hike or spike in suddenly all these high rises that are going up in downtown area, because that's where the Google campus is going to expand. So with that said, however, builders also have a lot of concerns of what they need to do to make those decisions on their future purchases. So some of the items are because the building costs are going up. Reason is because for the new building code requirement, a lot more new energy efficient features are required. So for example, solar panels are going to be started to be required for all new constructions in this coming year, 2020 and 2021 and going forward. And then there's other, energy efficiency that has already been requested a few years back. Construction material costs are also going up because of the tariff war with China, such as steel, a lot of other metals that we required. I think the builders have already kind of like positioned themselves to look for other sources of the material. However, because of the tariff war, there is just a surge in material costs all over. So it doesn't matter where the materials are coming, the cost across the board has been going up just because there is all these, tariff situation going with Europe and China. And land costs from local landowners are also, standing very firm, and some are actually going up in their price because they feel like Silicon Valley especially, it's in the prime location. And when it comes to real estate, everybody knows that it's location, location, and location. So when a landowner see that they're sitting in a location where it's going to be in a high demand area for residential or commercial, they're not going to back down on their land costs. So land cost is one of the major factor in the building cost calculation. So if it doesn't pencil out, then the builder is not going to jump in, even if it's in a prime location. Just to give you a very, kind of obvious example, Toll Brothers purchased a piece of land in Sunnyvale 10 years ago, and we bought it and then developed it, and it was very successful in about 2010 to 2012. At that time, Sunnyvale was just starting to catch up to some of the Silicon Valley areas, such as Mountain View and Cupertino. So about 7 years ago, the same piece of land, the same size of land, right adjacent to this piece that we bought, went for sale for 3 times the cost of what we bought 10 years ago. So just imagine the same size of land is now, much higher. So with all these other costs involved, that's pushing purchase price going up. And also, builders having very, very difficult time making their number work because all these are cutting into their profits and margins. And another increasing concern is that BMR, meaning below market rate requirements in new development, is increasing across the board for all cities. A lot of the Bay Area cities are looking for ways to offer affordable housing. So below market rate means that every developer had to provide a minimum of 10 or now going up to 15% of their new development to be those BMR units. And those BMR units have to be sold at potentially almost like a quarter of the market price sometimes, and therefore they are not going to be, bringing in any profit to the builder. So that means they have to factor in 10 or 15% of the cost of the construction to be given to these below market rates. And so as I mentioned, it used to be 10% for most cities, and now that requirement is going up to 15%. So when the builder, again, calculate this number and requirement into their development costs, all these are, again, chipping into what their numbers are, and it's getting it very, very difficult to make the numbers work. However, there are some positives in the market. So even though there are challenges, the builders are still looking for opportunities. And the reason why is that specifically in the Bay Area, the employment in the technology sector is still very, very strong. even though we have been hearing about some layoffs and some concerns about, companies, cutting down or, giving people, a chance to move on to other businesses. The point is that the employment in our technology sector is still going strong. And I have mentioned this, that the millennium boom is ready for the new home, the very first home most of the time, because they're at an age where now they have a steady job, they're starting the family, they're having the first baby, and so they're looking for their first home to purchase. Because as Mattie had mentioned previously, there are some tax benefits for owning a home versus renting. And as we all know, rents are going high in the area still, while interest rate now is a record low. So we are still seeing a lot of first-time buyers taking advantage of the low interest rate and going in and purchasing their first home. But with the shift of the COVID-19, which we have all mentioned, the working from home is going to be the new normal. And that means that a lot of the buyers now are looking for a potential to have a home office, meaning that we have seen that some people that are coming into the market looking for maybe a smaller home initially, like just for a 2-bedroom condo, now all of a sudden say, no, I need an extra room because that extra room is going to be my office. And excuse me, hang on one quick second. Okay. Sorry, try to. Okay, so the work from home is encouraging the need for extra room where the home office will be their place to work for a very long time. So now we're seeing more of the need for a bigger home. And also the work from home means that less commute is required as more and more companies are telling their workers to just stay home and work. So that means that now buyers shifting to suburban areas, such as further away in Livermore, Dublin, Mountain House, and even all the way up to Sacramento. And I've been hearing that some buyers are considering moving out of state if their corporation actually have out of state campuses. I'm hearing like Nevada, Arizona, are some of the areas that are seeing a boom because people now can afford cheaper housing because they are just going to be able to just work from home for a longer duration. So those are the shift because of this new normal, provided that this might be going on for a while for all the office workers. So this is what's the trend right now. But then we don't know when COVID-19 is all over and the vaccine is going to be available again. You know, maybe people would change their mind and say, no, I still want to go into the office and be able to have interactions with our coworkers. And there are still a lot of businesses that needs to be physically in the office and other businesses that just have to be available for their local tenants and clients. Okay. Oops. All right. So
is that the end of your presentation, Eunice?
No, there's one more.
Oh, okay.
I'm not able to get to it.
Okay, I'll help you. Is this it?
Okay. No, the next one.
This one?
Yes, there you go. Okay, so having said that, as real estate professionals, I just want to give you some tools that you can use, you know, when you're having buyers that are thinking a little bit more about, well, maybe it's better to also consider new homes. Therefore, you know, there is a need for, yes, okay. So there is a need for a lot of real estate professionals to understand the difference between resale versus new homes. And one of the major things that we can see is that ability to customize their home is very important for a lot of the millennials. They like, you know, things that are more contemporary instead of the older, you know, homes that you have to spend a lot of money to remodel. So the fact that builders usually offer them the opportunity to go to the design studio, so they can actually choose their countertops, the cabinets, the floorings, and even color of the paint. And some builders also offer structural, options where they can convert a room into an office, or, adding a covered patio to their backyard, things that normally could be done during construction. So that's been some of the things that people have been really excited about. Contemporary style and design of the new homes are because most modern lifestyles are looking for open floor plans. So, with most of the new homes now, instead of having a formal dining room, a formal living room, and a separate family room, now it's all going to be just a great room concept where everything is one big area. And then there's an open kitchen with a huge island where people can just gather and have, gatherings, with their family. Another thing is the little maintenance and the ability to take advantage of the builder's warranty. So with new homes, because all the appliances are brand new, the plumbing is new, appliances are new, the ventilation, air conditioning, heating is all brand new. So there's a little, need for the busy buyers nowadays to have to worry about fixing anything in their home. And also the warranty provided by the builder will give them a peace of mind that they don't have to deal with it themselves. They can just call the warranty department and the builder will send a customer service rep to help them with whatever issues that they're dealing with in their brand new home. And then also, I think one of the major things that people are now more focused on is to be the first person to live in that brand new home. Just like a new car, that new car smell, people are looking for that. And right now, if they know that no one had lived in this home before, especially with COVID-19, they feel safe. They feel like, okay, well, I'm the first person to move into this home, so I don't have to worry about if there's any, virus lingering in the walls, have the carpet been, dirty, and if there are any smell from cigarettes or pads and anything. So everything is going to be brand new. Energy efficiency and code-friendly housing standards is also, as I mentioned, from the new building code requirement. So all the windows are now dual pane windows or energy saving windows. Air conditioning units are more efficient. All the kitchen appliances are mostly Energy Star appliances. Solar, as I mentioned, is going to be the new requirement in 2020 and forward. So insulation are now improved to where the home will be almost airtight. So all this is going to improve on how the new construction will provide a more, energy efficient home for the new home buyers. Another thing is the technology. A lot of people are installing like Ring and other, type of technology into their home to make it a smart home. With new construction, we are also offering them the options to add extra wiring and, all these smart features and internet cables to their new construction homes. So that way, then they don't have to drill holes or run wires that are being exposed or, not able to improve their smart home features. So those are all elements that if you are in the real estate business, be able to use to convince people that, buying new homes give them all these advantages. And then another thing for during this COVID-19 period, a lot of the new home builders are taking a lot of precaution when it comes to offering appointments. So instead of people just walking into our office now, we all require appointments only. That means that when people are interested in coming for a tour, they have to set an appointment. And so every appointment is going to be a private one-on-one tour, so they don't have to worry about the social distancing. We give them that personal, time, and everybody will be given the ability to ask more questions and having more time with the salesperson. And we also offer virtual tours that they will be able to search online even before they come in. So for some people that are not comfortable coming into the office, we are also offering them virtual tours. And after every visit, we are required to sanitize the area that they have visited, so we can make sure that, safety factor is being considered. So we're taking a lot of precaution in new homes, but yet we still see an uptick in the demand for purchase. So like Toll Brothers just have released our earnings last week, and there is a 13% increase in the new deposits compared to last year, the same period of time. So therefore, you know, just to give you an assurance that real estate in this area is still going strong, and there's still a good demand for houses, especially in our area. So I hope I kind of give you a little, you know, synopsis of new home sales, and I'll be, you know, happy to share more if we have questions later. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Eunice. Wonderful. Thanks so much for all those great insights on the new homes development space. So that wraps it up for our 3 speakers today. In a few minutes, we'll go ahead and open for Q&A. I'm going to take back control of the screen, and then go ahead and submit any questions that you might have into the Q&A chat box. I know there's quite a few people who already submitted their questions, so thank you. I'll go ahead and read them out for our speakers to answer.
Okay, we wait for the questions to come in. I want to let everybody know that we do have another webinar scheduled on July 30th. Michael Lee, very well-known and very experienced estate and tax law attorney from a law firm by the name of Reed Attorneys. He's going to be talking to us about living trusts. So if you're on our mailing list, we'll definitely send you details by email. Now, lastly, do feel free to leave any comments in the chat box below, and let us know if you're interested in other topics. We'll go out there and find a good speaker to present on.
All right, that sounds good. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We do have a few questions here. So Sheena is asking, this is a question for Yuan. Did Kimco offer discounts to tenants? So Kimco is the Cupertino Village landlord. Yuan, don't forget to unmute. I think everybody can unmute now. So let me just make sure we're all unmuted.
Correct. I don't know the details of what they've done with tenants, but I know there are certain cases where they did defer the rents. So I believe what they're doing is that they're giving them maybe 3 to 5 months of free rent, not free rent, just rent abated. But they're deferring that rent to the end of the lease. So they're gonna, if they give them 5 months free rent, they're gonna put on an extra 5 months at the end of the lease. So their total rent consideration will be the same. So you're just extending it. I know there have been, my other landlords have been doing rent reduction. I'd say probably between the 20 to 30%. I've seen as much as 50%. So yeah, they are being proactive on doing that. Hope that answered the question.
You regarding the vaccine. So if a vaccine becomes available, will on commercial, there's some sound, I think, of printing or something. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. If the vaccine becomes available, will the current bleak outlook on commercial turn positive right away, or do you think there's going to be a process?
I definitely think it's going to be a process. People, I mean, you're going to probably have a big surge of people just that want to go out and meet at the restaurants and the bars and stuff. But there's still a lot of people that are really, really sensitive on this issue, and they're just very cautious and careful. So I think it's going to take some time for people to kind of slowly get back into it. But yeah, I hope it just really comes back and people, you know, once the vaccine comes, it'll definitely help out a lot. I think it's gonna put people's mind at ease a lot more, I think. But I think it's still gonna be a process and take a little bit more time.
Awesome, thank you. I guess this is a question that could be answered by maybe by the group of us. Raymond's asking, do you see government buying up motels for the homeless? Have you guys heard anything along those lines?
They are actually doing that. I've had owners of hotels being offered that. And so they have 2 options. They either buy it or lease it. I have one client that they're actually leasing it, and he's making really good money. I don't know what the terms are, but he's happy because his hotel's full. I just don't know what the exit strategy is on with the, I'm sure they're going to come in and clean it up. But the whole impact on that is that once, people know that you were kind of like a homeless shelter, that I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on them in the future.
Right, that's super interesting. Okay, let's see. Our next question comes from Chunchi. He's asking, when is cash out refi available again from lenders? This might be a mortgage question, or I guess it could be a commercial question as well. Mattie, have you heard anything regarding the cash out refi available?
I think Wilson can answer this question better than me. He's the loan professional, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think we're still doing cash out refinancing, but it's the restrictions are very tight, so it makes it almost impossible for people to meet the requirements. In fact, actually, right now we see very little demands for cash out refinancing. Some customers are asking for possibly applying for home equity line of credit. Okay, and they're trying to do that, and that's what it tells me, that they don't really have a immediate need to use the money, and I think people are sort of setting themselves up just in case the situation with the pandemic sort of deteriorates. So they have the ability to tap into more money quickly down the road. So we still have the home equity line of credit. Okay, I know some banks, they stop lending out home equity line of credit. We still have that. I have not really see a lot of people applying for it right now. I think a lot of customers are sort of focusing on refinancing their current loans just to do a rate and term refinancing, just to get a lower rate to save that money. Okay, so if you have any questions on cash outs and refinancing, feel free to reach out to me offline, and I'll be happy to assist you.
Thank you, Wilson. Our next question is from Eric. He says, how do you see the downtown San Jose real estate considering the new Google campus?
Maybe I can try to say a few words about that. So we've noticed that there's a lot of high-rise, being built in the San Jose downtown area, just because of the reason why the Google new campus is coming. So there, all of a sudden, a lot of the developers are thinking that that's where the trend will be. Another reason that we're seeing that San Jose, downtown bloom is that, as I talk to people that are living in the downtown San Francisco area, a lot of them are actually moving out of the downtown San Jose high-rise areas, even though you have the better views and, San Francisco is a little bit more vibrant. But people living there are saying that the homeless people have been taking over downtown San Francisco. So the streets are dirty and people are, kind of just laying or sitting around those streets and causing a lot of, concern that the downtown San Francisco area is not as desirable. So now the trend is the moving into the San Jose downtown as the second alternative. The rental market and even the new high-rise for sale has been really uptick in the downtown area.
Thank you, Eunice. That was very helpful. I think, let's see if there's any more questions. I don't want to miss anybody. I think that is for now. If you guys have any more questions, I actually have a slide here with everybody's information, contact information. This will go out alongside a follow-up email that you will all be receiving with the presentation deck, the YouTube link, as well as Wilson's contact as well, because I know Wilson and we don't have our contacts on here. So let's see. All right, so
okay, let's close with special thank you to today's speakers, Yuan, Mattie, and Eunice. Thank you guys for sharing some great information with us. I also wanted to thank everybody for your participation. I wish everyone a wonderful afternoon and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. Bye-bye.